Chainsaw Man, the movie, Arc Rez, or Reze Arc. Hello there, namaste. So Chainsaw Man, it's one of those series that is funny yet tragic at the same time. And this movie really does encapsulate it. So you laugh because Denji's just a 16-year-old kid who's rooming with his superior and another fiend. Well, he's not a fiend, but a fiend. And there's just little quirks, little dynamics, people who just don't get along being forced to be together, and it's like a sibling rivalry. That's the way I view it. It's just like, okay, they're kind of like siblings, Power and Denji, and then you're introduced to Beam, and then you're introduced to it's very well done. It's both funny, but at the same time it's absolutely tragic. But this one's basically about Denji being manipulated by women. It's basically about how they can keep control of him, how they can have a hold of him. And it's absolutely tragic because you know where the story's going from the beginning. You absolutely do. You see the trailer, you see how it starts, and then you're like, oh, that one that we saw at the beginning of the trailer, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. But I'm not gonna lie, there are things that I didn't really care for it because there are parts where the action gets a little too movement and it just gets all fuzzy, and then the animation just seems to crap out at those points in time. There was one scene where you have Denji running through a skyscraper that's toppling, and it goes for a first-person view, and I actually thought that was really well done. I kind of wish we got more of that, just him flinging his saws around. I thought that would have been cool, because you see it once, and I'm just like, huh, I would have liked to have seen more of this. But that's the thing, you have like the animation which kind of craps out at times. Let's be honest, it just wasn't my kind of thing, so I was like, okay, whatever, it's just a bunch of moving shots. And then you have the very on-the-nose story. But really, how this film sells it is at the very end. It is one of the most tragic things, because at the very end, you're just like, yeah, it's just, you want to keep your tool. You want to keep your tool. So any avenue to get to lose your tool, you're going to prevent it from it's absolutely insane. Cause it was just like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. This is perfect. Of course, it's an anime. They're going to continue the series. They're not going to do this. So it was just like, you have to watch it. That's one of the things. You have to watch it to see it, because I'm not going to say what happens, but it was just, I heard like the guys sitting next to me start crying, and I'm just like, yeah, I can see it. I can literally see it. But the story is very simple. Denji goes on a date with his boss, and then he ends up meeting another girl who he ends up falling for, and then it turns out that there's the bomb devil who works underneath the gum devil who ends up attacking Denji. And Denji needs to learn to control his powers. And this is where the comedy sets in, where he uses beam instead of his powers. He uses beam. It's just like, there's so many things in the movie that just make me smile and kind of chuckle at it, because it's there because he's stupid. He's an idiot, but he makes things work. It's kind of like the Luffy scenario, where you have him, he's an idiot, but he always seems to win because he just has instinct for it. Anyway, the film is simple. It doesn't really add much to the story. It just shows you what kind of characters Denji is surrounded by. And it's very tragic, because here he had an opportunity, and you kind of feel sad at the very end. You kind of feel like, I wish this didn't happen. I kind of, sadly, want a fanfic where it goes a different way. Honestly, that would be nice, where it just lies, parallel world, here's the movie here's the movie that continues it. It's much better for those of you softies. Anyway, if you're a fan of Chainsaw Man, check it out. I don't think it's actually going to lead into the story anywhere, except for the fact that Power has more horns and they have to bleed her out in order to lose her horns. The funny scene where she's being left with the boss, and Denji, and she's asking Denji to, no, please don't leave me with her. He's like, go ahead, take your time. Like I said, it's the sibling dynamic. I enjoyed it. I had a laugh. I'll probably check it out again, but it's one of those, like a Naruto movie, where you'll see it, so it's like, huh. And then you'll forget about it completely because it actually serves no purpose to the story. Let's be honest, like most anime series films. But anyway, that's just what you get. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles.
You guys get a video? It's so bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait like that.